ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠ 10ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆಯಾಯಿತು. ಈ ಮಠದ 24ನೇ ಗುರುಗಳು ಜಗದ್ಗುರು ಶ್ರೀ ಶಿವರಾತ್ರಿ ದೇಶಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮಹಾಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗಳು. ಇವರು ಬಹಳ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ 29ನೇ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ 1986ರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮಠದ ಮುಂಚೂಣಿಯನ್ನು ಹಿಡಿದು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಗತಿಪರ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪುತ್ತೂರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಚಿರಪರಿಚಿತ. ಅವರು ಅಮೆರಿಕದಲ್ಲಿ JSS ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಮಿಷನ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ನೀಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಪುತ್ತೂರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಆಶೀರ್ವಚನವನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಬಸವಂ ಭಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಮೂಲಂ, ಬಸವಂ ಕಾಲಂಗೆ ಕಾಲನ್ ಅನುಪಮಶೀಲಂ, ಬಸವಂ ಜಂಗಮಲೋಲಂ, ರಕ್ಷಿಪುದೆನ್ನ ಬಸವ ಸಂಗನ ಬಸವ. Pranams to all revered Swamijis. Hearty greetings of Basava Jayanthi to all. It is refreshing to note that the acclaimed Basava Jayanthi 2021 is being observed uniquely on international platform. What lightens our heart is that VSNA USA, Basava Samiti Bengaluru and other participating more than 20 organizations have forged together to make the event a real celebration on a global scale. The theme of the year, Universal Brotherhood, has been chosen rightly to reflect the core philosophy of Sri Basaveshwara. The Jayantis of saints are themselves an act of devotion which elevates the human mind to a new level of consciousness. It has been the tradition in India that such celebrations are held in great fervor and passion, irrespective of class or caste. Sri Basaveshwara stands ahead of thousands of other saints who have spent their lives ascetically finding the purpose of life and made salvation. He is that kind of a unique apotheosis who could keep his feet firm on the material world and yet range and speculate on non-worldly things. Being one of the foremost saints of the world, he is adored as a beacon of light for humanity. Divine appellants of the universe and the ocean of devotion. He strived to base the social structure on dharmic principles by living a life of purity for the good of all. The moralized free access of worship to all strata of society, where anyone could realize God with the path of bhakti, is traversed. The theme of this year, Universal Brotherhood, is truly inspirational, reflecting the ancient concept. Udara Charitanantu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, contemplated in Maha Upanishad. The same is reiterated in the teachings of Sri Basaveshwara. As a realized soul, he strongly advocated the equality of all living beings. Nature has never created anything which is of secondary importance. Each of its creations is supreme in its sphere of existence, but man, due to his illusion, fails to comprehend the complex ecosystem where one species is inseparably dependent on the other for its existence. Any harm to any species in the universe is harm to oneself. The true nature of Basaveshwara has been sketched evocatively in the Vachana of Sri Allamaprabhu as follows. ಕಲ್ಯಾಣವೆಂಬ ಪ್ರಣತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭಕ್ತಿರಸವೆಂಬ ತೈಲವನೆರೆದು ಆಚಾರವೆಂಬ ಬತ್ತಿಗೆ ಬಸವಣ್ಣನೆಂಬ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯ ಮುಟ್ಟಿಸಲು ತೊಡಗಿ ಬೆಳಗುತ್ತಿದ್ದಿತಯ್ಯ ಶಿವನ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ. ಆ ಬೆಳಗಿನೊಳಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪುತ್ತಿದ್ದರಯ್ಯ ಅಸಂಖ್ಯಾತ ಭಕ್ತಗಣಗಳು. ಶಿವಭಕ್ತರಿದ್ದ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವೇ ಅವಿಮುಕ್ತ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರವೆಂಬುದು ಹುಸಿಯೇ. ಶಿವಭಕ್ತರಿದ್ದ ದೇಶ ಪಾವನವೆಂಬುದು ಹುಸಿಯೇ. ಗುಹೇಶ್ವರ ಲಿಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಎನ್ನ ಪರಮಾರಾಧ್ಯ ಸಂಗನ ಬಸವಣ್ಣನ ಕಂಡು ಬದುಕಿದೆನು ಕಾಣ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ. ದ ಲೈಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಶಿವ ಈಸ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ to reach out to the devotees. Basavanna was a distinct preceptor of truth. His life mirrored the universal truth which was exemplified brilliantly by Kuempu in one of his poems as follows. ಕಾರ್ತಿಕದ ಕತ್ತಲಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕಾಶ ದೀಪವಾಗಿ ನೀ ಬಂದೆ, ಬಟ್ಟೆಗೆಟ್ಟವರಿಗೊಂದು ದೊಂದಿ ದಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, 8 ಶತಮಾನಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಕಂಡು ಖಡ್ಗವನ ಅಂತ ಓ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿವೀರ, ದೇವದಯೆ ಎಂದು ಹೇ ಧೀರಾವತಾರ ಶ್ರೀ ಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ. ಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನರಿ who defied conventions to demonstrate what is true. Firstly, as a householder, being a part of the temporal life, he demonstrated how one can attain salvation without renouncing the worldly life. Secondly, his preaching was not focused on individual salvation alone, but for the social transformation as well, which at that time was ridden with class and caste segregation. During his time, the lofty teachings of a great many saints were maligned in their practice and were subjugated by caste consciousness. The words of Karl Marx are pertinent to quote here. It is no exaggeration to say that the message of Lord Basava is like a reservoir into which all previous thoughts flowed in, from which all thought flowed out. Kind like Buddha, simple like Mahavira, compassionate like Jesus, bold like Muhammad. Basava strikes us almost as the wonder of creation, but what attracts us most to him is those teachings of what he anticipated the greatest of the modern thinker. His entire philosophy may be summed up in 3 propositions. Viz, God is real, the world is a challenge and an inspiration, and the goal of life is to attune itself to living in communication with the divine being and making life harmonious with society. It successfully strikes a balance between the inner and outer in a man, that's Antaranga and Bahiranga. The importance of Kayaka, that's work and Dasoha sharing, were emphasized in his philosophy, besides social equality and women's emancipation. The Vachanas, the tool he used to bear his inner longings of worldly and otherworldly, are paragon of beauty and wisdom in Kannada literature. Vachanas of Basaveshwara and other Sharanas immensely enriched a unique literary form in Kannada which has a universal appeal. Sharanas made it so simple that even a common man could grasp the exalted concepts of self-realization. Those traits made Basaveshwara the Jagadjyoti, Vishwa Vibhuti, etc. In the following Vachana, he strikingly depicts the universality of life on earth. Ivanarava, Ivanarava, Ivanarava ಎಂದೆನಿಸದಿರಯ್ಯ, ಇವನಮ್ಮವ 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 ಎಂದೆನಿಸಯ್ಯ, ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯ ಮಗನೆಂದೆನಿಸಯ್ಯ. This Vachana has penetrative truth behind this. The discriminatory mind of an individual always finds a disconnect with others, which is an illusion. The truth that all are one is not discoverable in the world of senses. A true devotee must be embracing all beings as his own, without discrimination, as well or equal at a spiritual plane. While capturing the divine dimension of the creation with incredible description, The Vachana literally mesmerizes all and takes the literary value to a new dimension. The truth of oneness is reflected in the life of all living beings of the planet, which is predominantly absent in human society. Speaking metaphysically, Basaveshwara speaks of the birds who gather their food. The moment one of them finds some meal, but laments that man has no such intuition to share what he finds in the following vachana. ಕಾಗೆ ಒಂದು ಉಗಳ ಕಂಡರೆ ಕರೆಯದೆ ತನ್ನ ಬಳಗವನು, ಕೋಳಿ ಒಂದು ಕುಟುಕ ಕಂಡರೆ ಕೂಗಿ ಕರೆಯದೆ ತನ್ನ ಕುಲವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲವ, ಶಿವಭಕ್ತನಾಗಿ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಪಕ್ಷವಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದಡೆ ಕಾಗೆ ಕೋಳಿಯಿಂದ ಕರಕಷ್ಟ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ. His first religious parliament, Anubhava Mantapa, an academy of experiences, was an experiment with the universal brotherhood of a distinct version. It was an assemblage of Anubhavis, transcendental beings who deliberated on the issues of intellectual and intuition throughout the breadth and length of India, where the vachanas were recited and philosophical discourses held. The deliberations culminated in Shunya Sampadane, acquisition of nothing, an anthology of vachanas, which is sum and substance of the philosophy. We are proud of the VSNA, which has been in the service Veerashaiva Samaj of North America since 1978, which since then it has grown phenomenally into a joint association of few thousand families of the USA and Canada. Its exemplary work of consolidation and propagation of our religion and culture in the West is second none, and Basava Jayanthi is a sought after annual event of the VSNA. Despite pandemic, this year also the Basava Jayanthi is being organized for the second time by VSNA and Basava Samiti on virtual mode is praiseworthy. Sri Hari Shiramat, the president of VSNA, is a man of talents. He with his team of office bearers and members could organize an event of this magnitude involving people from different continents is appreciable. We compliment Sri Hari Shiramat and his team for making this event unforgettable. The Basava Samiti Bangalore was established to preserve and propagate the teachings of Sri Basaveshwara. It has undertaken numerous responsibilities in this regard, including showcasing vachanas on the global canvas by translating them into other Indian languages and intends to translate them into other world languages in the second phase. Sri Arvind Jatti deserves to be congratulated for his untiring work for realizing the goals of Basava Samiti. We are pleased that Basava Samiti with other organizations has joined hands with VSNA for the second time in this year's Basava Jayanthi celebrations. The organizers deserves to be commended for translating the true spirit of Basava philosophy into action through this virtual Jayanthi celebration. The Basava Jayanthi should be an occasion to reconnect oneself to the path of self-fulfillment and salvation. The present pandemic is the grim reminder of humanity having gone astray. Saints like Basaveshwara often appear in human form to salvage the sinking values of humanity. Basaveshwara is more relevant today than ever before, where his words ring the ultimate truth of human destiny. At this critical juncture, the entire society must come together to face the problem head-on like one family, ignoring personal prejudice and interests. On this auspicious day of Basava Jayanthi, all must pledge themselves to practice the precepts enshrined in his philosophy for the very existence and survival of humankind. May Sri Basaveshwara and all the Sharanas bless you one and all with the strength to face their present challenge and tread on the path laid down by them. May Jayanti's celebration bring you joy and peace. Wishing you all the best. Shivam Boya.